Most people find themselves trapped in a perpetual financial loop, a monotonous cycle of working, paying bills, and repeating. It's a life dictated by scarcity, not by choice. But what if I told you there exists a 90-day window, a finite period where you possess the power to completely rewire the financial pathways in your brain? I'm not talking about those fleeting get-rich-quick schemes that promise instant riches but deliver only disappointment. Nor am I referring to miracle investments that magically multiply your money overnight. I'm talking about something far more powerful, a system designed to fundamentally reshape how your brain perceives and interacts with money. Over the next few minutes, you're going to uncover a precise three-phase framework. This framework has guided countless individuals from a state of constant checking account anxiety to a place of genuine, sustainable cash flow. We're talking about real results, people building their emergency funds in less than 90 days, finally cracking the code to passive income streams, and even, in some cases, having the confidence to quit jobs they loathed. But here's a sobering truth: the vast majority of people who start this journey never make it past week 2. Why? Because they underestimate the mental fortitude required and overestimate their own willpower. Stick with me, and I'll reveal the crucial reasons behind this high failure rate. Before we delve into the specifics of the system itself, it's essential to understand the significance of the 90-day timeframe. Our brains are intrinsically wired for habit formation, and research unequivocally demonstrates that genuine, lasting behavioral change requires approximately 66 to 90 days of consistent effort. Forget the popular myth of 21 days, that's just marketing hype. And 6 months? That's often procrastination masquerading as patience. 90 days represents the Goldilocks zone of habit change. It's long enough to witness tangible results, a noticeable shift in your income, a reduction in your debt burden, a profound transformation in your financial mindset. Yet, it's short enough to maintain a sense of momentum, to actually taste success. And that taste, that feeling of accomplishment, is the critical ingredient that fuels continued progress. However, this is precisely where most people stumble and ultimately fail. They attempt to overhaul everything simultaneously, implementing a brand new budget, adopting radically different spending habits, setting ambitious savings goals, and devising complex investment strategies, all at once. By day 18, their brains are utterly exhausted from decision fatigue, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of changes. They feel like they're constantly fighting an uphill battle, and they quickly revert to their old, comfortable patterns. They're right back to square one, defeated and discouraged. The 90-day money system is different. It's strategically divided into 3 distinct 30-day phases, each with a singular, laser-like focus. Each phase builds upon the foundations laid in the previous one, creating a compounding effect that amplifies your results. This isn't about relying on sheer willpower, gritting your teeth, and forcing yourself to change. It's about designing a system that works with your brain, not against it. You're not battling your ingrained habits, you're partnering with your own psychology to create lasting financial transformation. And that is the fundamental secret that most people completely miss. So, let's dive into Phase 1, Days 1 to 30, the awareness phase. Your primary task during this phase is deceptively simple, almost anticlimactic in its nature: meticulously track every single dollar that leaves your account. That's it. No judgment, no self-recrimination, not yet. Just pure, objective observation. Most people have absolutely no clue where their money actually goes. They may think they spend responsibly, but when pressed, they can't account for $200, $300, even $400 a month. It just evaporates into the ether. This phase is all about closing that knowledge gap, shining a bright light on your spending habits. And here's the psychological trick: when you simply track your spending without any self-judgment, something profound shifts within your brain. You become conscious of your financial choices, and consciousness always precedes meaningful change. You don't even have to cut back on anything yet. The mere act of tracking will prompt you to make subtly different micro-decisions. You'll hesitate before that impulse buy, questioning whether you really need it. You'll begin to notice spending patterns you never recognized before, hidden leaks in your financial dam. By day 30, most people experience a shocking revelation. Maybe it's discovering they're paying $150 a month for subscriptions they completely forgot they had. Maybe it's realizing they're eating out 5 times a week when they honestly believed it was only 2. Maybe it's the accumulation of those seemingly insignificant, "I deserve this" purchases that silently drain thousands of dollars from their accounts every year. The awareness itself becomes the catalyst for change. And that powerful awareness propels you to the edge of Phase 2, where the real transformation truly begins. Days 31 to 60, the restructure phase. This is where emotion meets action, where you channel the insights you gained in Phase 1 into tangible changes in your financial life. Now that you possess a clear understanding of where your money goes, you're ready to make a critical choice. And that's the key word, choice. This isn't about restriction, deprivation, or feeling like you're punishing yourself. It's about consciously choosing where your money flows, aligning your spending with your values and priorities. We accomplish this using a system I call the priority stack. First, you create a list of your non-negotiables: rent or mortgage payments, groceries, essential utilities. These are sacred, the bedrock of your survival. We don't touch them. Then, you create a list of your core values. This is deeply personal, and it requires honest self-reflection. For you, it might be security, the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're prepared for the unexpected. For someone else, it might be growth, the constant pursuit of knowledge and self-improvement. Or perhaps it's travel, the thrill of exploring new cultures and experiencing different perspectives. Or maybe it's family, the desire to provide the best possible life for your loved ones. Your values dictate where every other dollar flows. Someone who values security will prioritize building a robust emergency fund. Someone who values growth might invest in online courses or workshops to enhance their skills. Someone who values travel will allocate funds to saving for their next adventure. When your money is aligned with your actual values, not societal expectations, not your family's preferences, but your deepest desires, you don't feel deprived. You feel aligned, empowered, and in control. Then comes the cut, the necessary pruning of your financial garden. Anything that doesn't directly serve your survival or align with your core values gets reduced or eliminated. That unused gym membership, that streaming service you barely watch, that daily habit that drains both your wallet and your energy. This is often the most emotionally challenging part because cutting isn't just about money, it's about identity. I'm someone who goes out to eat several times a week. I'm someone who has access to every possible streaming service. You're not. You're becoming someone different, someone with choices, someone who is consciously shaping their financial destiny. By day 60, your money has been strategically rerouted. Maybe you've freed up an extra $200 a month. Maybe it's a more substantial $800. The exact number doesn't matter as much as the principle behind it. Money is finally flowing somewhere you chose, somewhere that aligns with your values and supports your goals. Which brings us to days 61 through 90, the acceleration phase. This is where the system truly compounds, where the seeds you planted in the previous 2 phases begin to blossom into a thriving financial garden. You now have a surplus, real money that you didn't have before. And you're at a critical crossroads. You can spend it, indulging in instant gratification, or you can deploy it strategically, investing in your future. Most people, unfortunately, choose to spend it, falling back into their old patterns of consumption. This system, however, encourages a different approach. Your newly generated cash flow has 3 specific destinations. First, the safety net. You build a 1-month emergency fund, then 2 months, then 3. This isn't about investing for high returns, it's about providing yourself with a financial cushion, a buffer against the unexpected storms of life. It's insurance against job loss, medical emergencies, or unexpected home repairs. And the psychological impact of having 3 months of expenses readily available in a savings account is profound. It changes everything. You're no longer living on the edge, constantly stressed about making ends meet. You're no longer desperate, forced to make rash decisions out of fear. Safety breeds strategic thinking, allowing you to approach your finances with clarity and confidence. Second, the income stream. With a surplus and a safety net in place, you can now invest in something that generates a return, creating a virtuous cycle of wealth creation. Maybe it's investing in education or training that leads to a raise at your current job. Maybe it's starting a micro-business, pursuing a passion project that generates additional income. Or maybe it's investing in traditional assets like stocks, bonds, or real estate. The key is this money now works for you, passively generating income and multiplying over time. You're no longer solely reliant on your paycheck, you're building a financial foundation that can support you even if you experience unexpected setbacks. Third, and this is absolutely critical, the reward. You must allocate 10% of your surplus to something purely joyful, something that brings you genuine pleasure. A fancy meal out, a new hobby, a weekend getaway, anything that reminds you that money isn't the enemy of happiness. It's the servant of it, a tool that can be used to enhance your life and bring you joy. By day 90, you've built a foundation of financial security. You've started diversifying your income streams, creating multiple pathways to wealth. And you've fundamentally rewired your relationship with money, transforming it from a source of stress and anxiety to a tool for empowerment and freedom. And you haven't felt deprived or restricted along the way. You felt powerful, in control of your financial destiny. Let me give you 3 quick examples to illustrate the transformative power of this system. Sarah, a freelance graphic designer, discovered she was spending a staggering $180 a month on various apps and software subscriptions she didn't even use. She redirected that money into building a 3-month emergency fund. By day 90, the newfound confidence and security she gained from having that financial cushion led her to raise her rates, and she earned 30% more as a result. Then there's Marcus, who was drowning in $8,000 of consumer debt, a weight that felt like it was crushing him. He made some tough, but necessary, cuts: no more dining out, no more impulse purchases, no more unnecessary extras. By day 90, he'd paid off over $5,000 of his debt, freeing himself from the shackles of high-interest payments. The money was always there, hidden in plain sight. The system simply made it visible and accessible. And finally, there's Alicia, a high-income earner who was perpetually broke, a victim of lifestyle creep. Her entire salary was consumed by ever-increasing expenses, leaving her with nothing to save or invest. The system forced her to confront a difficult question: what did she actually value? It turned out it wasn't designer clothes or luxury cars, it was security and learning, the ability to provide for her future and expand her horizons. By day 90, she had a 3-month emergency fund and had invested in a professional certification that had the potential to boost her income by an additional $15,000 a year. 3 different people, each with their unique challenges and circumstances, but one common outcome: they all regained agency over their money, taking control of their financial lives and building a brighter future. Now, it's important to acknowledge that not everyone who starts this journey makes it to the finish line. The unfortunate truth is that most people fail within the first 30 days because the tracking phase feels tedious and overwhelming. The solution? Automate as much as possible. Utilize a budgeting app that automatically categorizes your transactions. Spend just 5 minutes a day reviewing and adjusting the categories. Others quit in phase 2 because the cuts feel too real, too painful. The solution? Constantly remind yourself of your why. Write down your core values and look at them daily. Let that emotional connection to your goals sustain you through the difficult moments. And some plateau in phase 3, unsure how to deploy their newfound surplus effectively. The solution? Start small. Make a $50 investment in an online course, put $100 into a brokerage account. Action creates confidence, and even small steps forward can lead to significant progress over time. The system works, but only if you do. It's not a magic bullet, but a proven framework that requires commitment and consistent effort. Here's what I want you to truly understand: you're not broke because you're stupid or unlucky. You're in your current financial situation because of systems you probably never consciously chose, systems that were handed down to you or adopted by default. But you can choose a different system, starting right now. In just 90 days, you could be virtually unrecognizable, transformed from someone who is controlled by their money to someone who controls it. Not because you got lucky, but because you followed a carefully designed framework that works with your brain, not against it. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to take control of your financial destiny and build a life of security and freedom, hit that subscribe button. You don't have to figure this out alone. Turn on notifications, and in 90 days, you won't even recognize